Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nibbler, bring in the horns! I feel like we haven't played this game in like a month. I think it's only been a week. Like, we just didn't play last week. But it feels like a long time. Like, sue me. Like, hey. But I think we are ready to go back and redo all the shit that we messed up before. Come on. That's right. We got $100 from that dude. Holy shit! You can use the mouse and keyboard to walk. I did not even think I knew that. All right. I don't remember it being so snowy over here. I kind of want to wait till the nighttime and then get rid of Kim and we can talk to a girl again.
I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
Leo, in the future, we can keep this greeting shorter. I had some questions for you. If it's not too much trouble, let's keep the greeting shorter.
Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always willing to help out nice fellows such as yourself.
Are you the Leo who wrote the note to make more banners?
Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht.
The borscht? What was about the borscht?
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
What do you mean by taking the soup to the men? Is it for the striking?
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
Hold up, who makes that whirling? Something is off about this borscht. I'm going to look into it.
Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad.
Okay.
Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir. Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about?
The guy in the container.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. But a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both keep on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year, he spent a whole winter in South Africa.
You had a good weekend there, Nibbler?
Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
South Safri. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made, too. The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
Okay, we made some money and some XP. I'll take it. Looks like we leveled up too.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Which guy was measuring?
Really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that. Who do you mean, mister?
You do realize he might just be a figment of your imagination, right?
The fancy guy in the suit. The container over there.
I don't know anyone like this, mister. Maybe he's one of Mr. Everett's fancy friends.
Well, he's gotta be real. We got $100
All
from him.
kinds of fancy people with suits and purdy carriages.
He really feels very uncomfortable discussing matters related to Everett with you.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
Friendly?
I
I wouldn't
guess
get
not.
friendly from Titus.
I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer.
The night guard, he was a peculiar fellow. Headstrong and proud. We didn't really talk all that much. He died recently. Something with his ticker. Sure, mister.
Alright, maybe Everett knows something about the guy in the container. Oh, not too bad, Nibbler. I'm ready to get this week over so we can have a 3-day weekend. Is it too soon to be wishing for that?
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair. Mega rich lightbending guy? Oh my god. How did that get in there?
He's so rich he can get in anywhere. Slime like him must have oozed through the cracks. He must have been in a container when someone actually closed the door.
Damn it to hell, Harry. I specifically told my guys to check all the containers for mega rich lightbending guys.
I think he wants to take down the Portarian, Everett. Kim, tell me he was there.
There was a guy in the container, but he didn't bend any light. That was in the detective's head.
Honestly, guys, we might be moving a spot of drugs through this harbor, but I won't be caught transporting the light-bending mega rich. I have a reputation to protect.
Yes, for God's sake, you're a socialist. More tightly regulated. Didn't seem like it was safe.
You're right, Harry. I am a socialist. I'm going to catch the mega rich guy inside the container and harvest his energy to power the harbor's fog lights. I shudder to think what you're going to tell me next, Harry.
Not for 1 second did he believe there's an actual mega-rich person somewhere in his container town.
I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many moving parts in my operation, I can't keep track of them all. You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me. Just one thing. If you can, make it even shadier.
I could probably do that.
Sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he doesn't care either.
God damn it, I want to upgrade my physical instrument. We're going all in here, because if we got to shoot somebody later, we want to make sure we're ready to go. Is this fucking thing done yet? We've been working on that. Maybe we can... Oh, we can't even try it, so it doesn't matter. Alright, let's go talk to the cook and the whirling in rags. Hold on, can we travel from here? No, we cannot. Need to pass time? Buy a book. Mystery Sunday. What's up, Baxter? Measurehead. See, that's a person we haven't even talked to yet. Oh, just wishing my week away already. Wishing it away.
Your race descent has...
Oh, that's that lady over there. Okay, never mind. We can talk to her. Or we can't talk to her about it. Sunday scaries. Fish, get your tail off my keyboard, please, because you're going to turn the stream off or something.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Ah, you're friends with Banana,
The
is that
mention
true?
of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends.
All right.
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Horse need more vodka?
He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Yes, Nan, turn your fingers clockwise. Turn the vodka up.
He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew. He smiles and nods enthusiastically, and, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you.
All right. Oh, let's go check on our dice while we're over here. I don't know if it's been 8 hours. I don't know when we went. Did we go at 10 o'clock in the morning? Can we get into this bitch yet?
This orange machine is dead still. It has a... You slip your fingers on...
Didn't Sona give you a perfect tool?
Equip the multi-tool by going...
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying. It's all gone now. You'll never become...
What is that? No, that's not what I wanted. But that was worth it, though.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner.
I don't want to walk around with this thing. Let's walk around with something else in our hand. Speed bottle. Oh, this is why I had it in equipped to begin with, probably.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
I guess you're not ready.
This old fireplace is covered. The whole thing resembles
That stupid ice cream maker down here is like stopping me from doing a whole bunch of shit. Like, I can't get the goddamn club running until I get rid of her. Hold on. Totally seems like that should be something. Alright, we'll get to those later. See, we can't do that one. Can't do that one. I want to wait to do that one. Cat one's at night too. We fucking did that one. I don't know why we didn't get that. We can't do that one. Can't do that one. Can't do that one. Can't do that one. And we're still working on that one. So yeah, we're pretty much to that point. It's that stupid goddamn... ice cream machine.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian.
Let's find a good book.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of...
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family?
Do I have friends?
Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
Who don't have children with me? I don't feel like I have any
Friends
kids.
are technically like family.
She fiddles with her pendant thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations.
Sounds
It'll
like
cost
a cool game
12
to me.
real. Wonderful choice, sir. A wholesome family game.
In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game, Suzerainty. It's snugly wrapped in a skin of plastic. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship, while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague, but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals. The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance. There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Savor that new board game smell. A mix of wood, paper, and ink, all wrapped in the sweet must of cardboard.
All right,
Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and thick as a Gradian novel.
Economic strategy, more like rapiers, plunder, and exploration. The proper game to teach children about the importance of trade and global economy. History seems problematic, but it is important to teach children about the basic economic concepts.
The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples.
I want to play Tropico
and
again.
harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant.
Tropico was fun.
Everyone is smiling. You begin to suspect there may be a political agenda to this so-called family game. Only one way to find out. The instructions are opaque at first and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory points.
Well, how do you get the victory
That's where
points?
the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they've placed workers. They may then rearrange their workers, fulfill contracts for coin and bonuses, or build structures back in Revachol. As you leaf through the pages, your eye catches on a sidebar labeled Advice for Beginners. Remember, there are many paths to victory in suzerainty, but successful players will find one strategy and commit to it wholeheartedly.
How is the winner
The
determined?
actual scoring system appears infinitely complex, with a series of tables and appendices required to compute each player's final victory point total. You skip that part for now. You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with other cardboard components that will need to be punched out before you can play.
One
Each
by one,
cardboard
baby.
token makes a satisfying chick as you pop it out. Soon, a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters has accumulated before you.
What? You're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out?
In addition to the worker and building tokens used by each player, there are also several piles of colorful resource tokens, each representing one of the game's 4 principal resources. From the Empire of Safre, orange apricot tokens. From
Apricots.
Ilmarat, the ancestral name of Ilmara, gray marble block tokens. From the Semenine Islands, white sacks of sugar tokens. And from Supramuindi and Sarah Maritza, magenta tokens for unprocessed cocaine leaves.
Oh,
Oh,
cocaine.
those are nice.
Lieutenant picks up a sugar cone and admires it.
You hold the open game box before you.
Cam, wanna play?
The lieutenant looks over the rulebook before he sees something that makes his eyes go wide.
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours.
6 hours is exactly what we need.
I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
What is
Got it.
detective work if not an elaborate game? You need logical
We got it,
effort,
fish.
attention to detail,
Oh,
the ability
oh.
to analyze your opponent's motives.
Well. Come on. I can't get to everything.
I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order.
Here we go.
See? He's doing the hard work himself. All he needed was a little nudge.
Alright, you've convinced me. How do we play?
I read the rules
You
already. I'll show
explain
you.
the basic setup procedures to the lieutenant, who seems to be a quick study. You each take your bag of tokens and counters and unfold the board between you. In the center is the crown of Revachon. Radiating outward are her colorful vessels, each one supplying some raw material desired by the suzerain. Apricots from Safre, archaeological treasures from Ilmarat, sugars from the Seminine Islands, and magenta cocaine from Supra Muindi and Sarah Maritza. There's also a neat little log to keep track of your progress in case you need to put the game away and return to it later. The lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card and moves several of his workers to the Safre territory of the board, and the others to the Seminine Islands.
Alright, detective. Your turn.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away, or rearrange your workers to maximize production on future turns? Remember what the rulebook said. You'll want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it.
Do whatever Kim did. Let your workers rest for a while.
You draw a contract card offering a number of coins in exchange for archaeological treasures. You place all your workers on the Ilmarat territory. On your next turn, you produce 6 units of archaeological treasure and fulfill the contract for a handful of coins.
Hey, there we go.
Not bad, detective.
But not good enough, the lieutenant seems to be saying. As he completes his own contract card, the lieutenant is rewarded with 4 coins and a round wooden token that he places in the center of the board.
That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points.
Yeah, why don't I get one of those?
Don't worry, it was mostly just luck. You'll earn some points soon enough.
I'm not even sure what the points are. That's part of the problem.
Points are nothing. They don't exist. They're just an arbitrary convention that games use to reward or punish players for certain behaviors.
Am I getting points
There
right now?
are some paranoid types who believe the moral intern keeps detailed score sheets for everyone in the Real Belt. But that's obviously nonsense.
Obviously.
Otherwise, no. There are no points. Just your actions and the consequences of those actions.
That's
That's
reassuring.
just the way it is.
The lieutenant doesn't seem to find much value in dwelling on the subject.
Now, I believe it's your turn.
Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you to survive a possible conflict with the lieutenant. Or you could ignore your labor supply and focus on fulfilling contracts for points and resources. Those aren't your only options. You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth in them. After all, they're the ones producing wealth for the suzerain. Well, sure, you can do that. It's just not a terribly effective strategy, but then it's up to you.
We're supposed to pick going and go for it, right?
Who cares about workers or territories when the real action is in Revachon? You spend your turns fulfilling contracts for sweet coins and one-time bonuses. After several turns, you have a neat pile of cardboard coins and several units of archaeological treasure, which you trade in to build a museum. You place a cylindrical piece of wood on the Revachol section in the middle of the board. It's meant to stand in for a beautifully adorned edifice filled with ancient wonders. This is more or less what happened in real life as well. To this day, if Ilmarans want to see their nation's priceless treasures, they have to visit Revachol, or Gottwald, or Sur-le-Clay.
Well played, detective. That museum is worth 3 victory points.
Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Safrey territory. Soon, his workers
Oh, he's got the
producing
apricots.
a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you relocate the majority of your workers to Supremawindi and Saramaritsa, where they begin producing a bumper crop of cocaine tokens.
Yeah,
You
baby,
draw a
coca.
new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus. Amplified music worth 7 victory points. You know, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholian suzerainty faced in Safrey in the middle of the last century.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, the suzerain was looking for new markets for all the cocaine it was producing, and it settled on Safrey. By introducing cocaine into Safrey under exclusive contract, the suzerain created an extremely valuable captive market for an extremely addictive product. If you could somehow get the lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, you could not only make them less productive, you would also force the lieutenant to pay you for your cocaine tokens each turn.
You even do that?
Yes, you can. It's right there in the rules.
I never noticed that. The board game.
You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression?
Sorry, Kim, you're not gonna like this. This goes Tony as you take your turn. He doesn't appreciate you getting all his workers addicted to coke.
With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins as his own workers become less productive and more dependent on your magenta cocaine tokens. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Safrey. To this day, fully half of the former Safrey Empire remains dependent on international aid in exchange for a steady supply of cheap produce.
Isn't this what they did to the Apricot Susie in real life?
More or less.
But he's thinking less about matters of historical wrongdoing than how to get out of the jam you put him in.
Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit: protectionism. By erecting tariffs on your cocaine, he hopes to starve you out of the market at the risk of incurring the suzerain's disfavor. The end game is upon you. Do you escalate the trade war with the lieutenant in hopes of crushing him with your economic might? Or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory column structure in Revachol herself? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away by trying to build a public education system for the children of your workers. The choice is yours.
Go for the victory
Building
column.
the ultimate structure requires diligent economic planning, which you completely fail to do. Rather than build a glorious monument to Revachol's economic superiority, you have to settle for a handful of post offices and school for the blind.
A risky gambit, detective. Sorry it didn't pay off.
I should have got the
Might
emergency
have
game
helped,
plan.
yes. Now, let's tally up the scores, shall we?
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend an inordinate amount of time making stacks of coins, consulting tables, and struggling with basic addition and multiplication. After double, then triple checking your maths, you have your final score.
Who wins?
15 victory points. The suzerain will not be impressed.
I've got 26 points.
He says, barely contained a smile breaking out across
Don't
his
be
face.
glum, detective. There's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again. Now, let's clean up and get back to work.
You hold the open game box before you.
Well, it didn't take as long as I wanted it to, but...
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous...
Indeed. Something about that book does seem to have spoken to you. Well, I hope it contains what you're looking...
Medicinal purposes of the pearl. The cover of this heavy tome features a number of esoteric symbols. Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the pearl. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book.
What
You
is
come
this
across
stuff?
the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated by so-called experts based on the results of clinical trials, readers will find assembled here the timeless wisdom relied upon by generations of traditional Seolite medicine practitioners, Mesk mystics, and Ilmaran folk doctors. It's all quackery, in other words. Finally, something to calm the angry spirits that have been plaguing you. It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the pearl, as well as instructions for producing a variety of herbal remedies.
Anything for
There
restoring
are a
memories.
number of Seolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory, but nothing that speaks to your condition.
I just want something that'll soothe the relentless torment of
What
my
you're
existence.
describing is booze. You don't need any herbs for that.
Anything about curing epileptic hangover.
There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. However, while browsing through the various descriptions, you become convinced that you could assemble something from the ingredients listed here. Want to give it a shot?
All right, book. Let's see what you got.
First, you need to choose a base ingredient.
Ginger.
Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
Mash into a paste with some aloe vera extract.
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
A spoonful of
The
sugar.
ginger and aloe vera make this poultice ideal for the treatment of arthritis. It won't do anything for your hangover, though. Would you like to try again?
Yeah.
Very well. First, choose a base ingredient. Next,
Mint.
you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle. Lastly,
Tea bark.
is there anything else you'd like to add? The
Pomegranate.
ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the toxins. The sugar just makes it taste better.
Great, so I can get this
From
stuff.
the pearl, of course. Or perhaps from some enterprising entrepreneur. Where you would find one of those, though, the book does not say.
I want to try and concoct one of those hangover cures again. Did we already buy Dick Mullins book?
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch. The cover features
Dick
a
Mullen,
pastiche
baby.
of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen. That seems to sum up the premise nicely. Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect.
Well, duh.
Are you really reading that, detective?
I really didn't know who this Dick Mullen guy is.
Good luck finding it. He's not much of a character, I think you'll find. Just a stand-in for the reader.
The point is for the reader to feel like they're solving the crime along with Dick Mullen. A crude narrative convention, but no less effective for it.
Let's
The
do it.
story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindian coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights. An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law.
Look, I can't
2
judge.
days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description. Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
Yeah, sure, it's a primary suspect so he can find the real killer. Are you shitting me?
What's the matter, detective?
I don't know who's writing this shit, but I got a good feeling they aren't experts on homicide investigations.
The lieutenant shrugs, resigned to the idea that his profession will rarely, if ever, be accurately represented in art and literature. They're not shitting you, detective. This is what the writers think passes for police procedure.
Okay, so Mullen did.
Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana DeNerva.
Nice, a dame.
And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million. A knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret.
Man, who doesn't?
Secrets are the currency of human relations. Your secrets are unknown even unto you. So does that make you a rich man or a beggar?
Now it's getting interesting.
DeNerve reveals that she was Spillane's lover and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullen begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
All right, tell me about the cop.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested
Oh, nice.
man
Look how much time
who's
ticked
beaten
by.
his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder? A typical privileged twat.
Your politician
In all
side
likelihood,
there.
he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullen did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own. Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullen discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana DeNerve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle?
All right, let's get on with the
One
story.
evening, Diana DeNerve comes to Mullen's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms. Yes, comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human's touch. The burning taste of liquor on her full, sweet lips. Well,
Now we're getting good.
that testimony won't be admissible any longer.
Well, how does Mullen expect to solve the murder if he's sleeping with his witness? Nice, get it, Mullen. I'm not sure I'm happy with this, but maybe the story will turn around.
As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Diana DeNerve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you. I love you." always aim for the center of mass? Whatever it is, Mullin never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly.
Can't trust a dame.
Who can you trust in this wicked, messed up world?
Your partner.
The lieutenant gives you a quizzical expression in return. You go back to the story. When Mullin comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood. Mullin trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Deneuve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already. Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence. Even if Detective Mullin didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars. The heat is on. If Dick Mullin can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life. Can you solve the case before the cops close in?
I've got questions first.
Detective?
Why does everyone close to Dick Mullin wind up dead?
It's a dangerous line of work, but somebody has to do it. That's why Dick Mullin never lets anyone get too close.
Why does Dick Mullin become a detective in the first place?
There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born a detective.
Was I not born to be a detective?
For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page and see the book for what it is. A collection of brittle, cheaply printed pages held together by glue made from the hooves of horses. From nowhere, you hear the screech of sneakers on a waxed floor, and you feel the burn of rope against your hands. Are these figments of some other life? You won't find the answers you're looking for here, in other words.
Why bother solving crimes when the world is so evil?
Is it really so evil, detective?
Yeah, it's pretty
Then
fucking evil.
why are you still here?
Because I don't want to let Kim down. Because I need to solve this case, not for anyone else's sake, for me. Because I'm too chicken shit to do anything about it.
What are you trying to prove exactly? And what will change if you do manage to prove it? But then, what does this book know? It's just a poorly made piece of pulp garbage made to be consumed and discarded.
All right.
So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve?
Communism. I'm going to say the politician's twat son.
Could be. Who knows? Only one way to find out.
Finish the
You begin
book.
furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone. Dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost.
Oh, wait.
It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long.
Too bad, detective. If it's any consolation, the resolution is almost never very satisfying.
That's terrible.
And on that note, perhaps we should get back to making sense of our own case.
Last year, more than 71% of murders in Revachol went unsolved. In Revachol West, that number was closer to 85%. In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullin and the mistaken identity.
4/5. That's funny.
Wasteland of reality. Congrats, you're sober. It will take a while for your body to remember how to metabolize anything that isn't sugar from alcohol. So you're going to be pretty ravenous soon. Eat plenty. You can expect your coordination and balance to improve in a couple of weeks. In 2 months, you might start sleeping like a normal person. Full recovery will take years though. It'll be depressing. And it'll be boring. Don't expect any further rewards or hand claps. This is how normal people are all the time.
Oh, that sucks. Kind of want to forget that one. All right, we got 35 minutes to burn before we can get rid of Kim and we can go talk to that lady. Is there a bench we can sit on or something?
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Oh. We just need a quick conversation.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing.
You find your hands deep in the box.
Anything in
smells
here?
like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first. The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Not too much to do, Kim. I like those sunglasses.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You
That took off like 2 minutes.
What a shirt. All other shirts pale in comparison to the muscular man with antlers and immense Zweihanders.
Welcome to Helmdall, officer.
Can we go to bed early? I like my drama. Maybe we can go talk to fucking Kuno.
Fuck, does Kuno care?
Kuno dominated me. I remember that. We tried to punch him.
Kuno doesn't fuck.
I wonder if we can sing karaoke again. You doing it with this dude?
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
The Coppernado is back. What do you want?
I'll give you a dick. I'll go over a few things.
What? Anything else you want?
Again? I can't believe this shit.
I'm not getting involved in this.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at...
Okay. Oh no. You see, I enjoy watching...
This isn't helping.
Oh, it's you. Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer.
He's trying to... Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that.
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
Like partners in crime?
No, because in this thought experiment, we are police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Come on, stop it.
You're not going to believe this, but yes, sir. Just some Neither can I. But
it's a mere second.
Yes? What is it? Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
You look cute
and you look like you don't bathe, on principle.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay? I don't...
Don't say anything, Judith.
I'm just looking out for...
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
A horse-faced woman.
You're a fucking asshole. Are we done here?
Suppose... We just need to stall for 30 minutes. And we're still not going to get to go down into those caves again, because we're not going to start it tonight. There's no reason. To even start it, because it took a while last time, because we got a lot of dialogue to go through.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
A true cultural touchstone.
The Greatest Innocence by Joa. Browsing through the
don't
your
care,
educational
actually.
survey is done. That's the spirit. Here we... Oh yeah, this is what I was made for.
That's alright. Give me all the hints you got.
Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of human. Her colors are silver. Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one. A strange sensation of loss. When she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? It wasn't Dolores Day. Incorrect. Sola was anointed during the previous century, and Sola resigned after. Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was
10 more minutes.
But Franco Negro presumed as such, and called as the first innocence. Question 2. Who was the... Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody. Incorrect again. While she... Even though the word... Please. Relax. Correct. Named the innocence of militarism. He caught Franco Negro. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Got it under control. No problem. Solid on this one. It's widespread historical information. Correct. There have been a number of... The most famous and final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important. I've got it. Honest. I don't even have to say it anymore. Incorrect. While Franco Negro built... Incorrect. He was a correct. The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence, a most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. A D. Not particularly remarkable. You would have done better if you'd just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
Alright, let's go get rid of Kim and then go talk to that lady. And then we're going to call it a night. That's what I think. See you in the morning.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Who? What? Dear
Aha!
God, you've been lied to. She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She's not candid at all. She's smoke and mirrors and will-o-wisps. She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately before she further entangles you in her web of lies.
You know, I think you didn't make the call to the station.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay, it's not.
You admit to
You
it?
log your work every week. It's all transmitted to Common, sir. I couldn't just beg you not to enter my name. So I lied. Like I lied before. Like I did at LCSB. I have to lie all the time. I'm so tired of it.
Was it passport bullshit too?
No. It's submerged in a plastic buoy on the coast, in the reeds. It just doesn't say Clausia Amandu. It says Anouk Mea Smith.
It's fake too?
Fake passport and visa. Given to me by my employer. I can't even use them. My employer probably leaked the name to hurt me. I didn't show up to a rendezvous. They don't take that lightly. I didn't show up because I was afraid they'd do something to me. The job was finished. I'm just a liability now.
She fears an arrest right here and now. This has been an awful turn of events for her.
Where's
West
Louis?
of the boardwalk, in the reeds, on the coast there. I put it there when I first arrived. Haven't been there since. I'm not sure I could even find it now. It's useless. You're welcome to it. It's in the reeds northwest of here, past the Bergen sewage pipe, right near the waterline. It's Katarzyna Lazie.
The smile on her face is timid and almost painfully so.
It's a Grad name, Jims or Yugo Grad in origin. Not Occidental at all. Smells of motor oil, tiger, economic desolation, and rock music infused alcoholism.
My parents were Zemsk immigrants, but I'm nationalized Oranese. All I remember is Oranje. Alasie is my father's name.
Finally we meet.
She nods. Her round eyes meet yours. They seem moist from the wind on the roof. She nods, her back straight, ready for whatever is next.
I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever it is. The numbers are all over town. Call 8-100-2 for emergencies. There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking. She took my complaint. She coughed.
That is the emergency's desk number. Anyone could know that, sire, by looking
It's
around
true.
and calling the desk. I don't believe a single word she says.
I can give you the time, too. It was late. After midnight. 12:20. I know I have not been 100% truthful with you, but I am now.
You sense a little hesitation there, or maybe even fear. The stress was on the wrong syllable. Welcome to the Wake Up Club, brother.
What if I told you you're under arrest?
What?
You almost say the words, then stop. The lieutenant is off somewhere, 28 kilometers from here. Probably reading the manual for incarceration. The one he knows how to use. Come back and say this, with Kim here. You can't handle it without him.
Alright, let's change the
She
subject.
slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger. You are. This is not the end of this.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
One of the first things I remember doing in Elysium. Before you was only the room, the sound of the motor vehicle, steam in the bathroom, and darkness. Did you hear something Sunday night?
Wow. Elysium. You don't hear that term often.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
Any visitors?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
Loud disco?
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
She arches her eyebrow, waiting for it to connect with you.
Oh, that? Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Then, doesn't life get hard because we go on?
Yeah, we go on alright. Mostly just gets hard, doesn't it?
It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also,
What else?
that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
When you say wounded, do you mean that in a cool way, like a wild beast?
Don't be. I was going out later anyway. It didn't bother me.
Then what happened?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
That's so me.
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room.
Takes a sip of her coffee and smiles.
A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Was there anything else?
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it. No problem, sir.
We got the communist rally we can go to.
2 neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman having sex. A ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside. It is possible that it came from B prime, the boardwalk, B double prime, Land's End, or B triple prime, the islet. You can't know for sure until you investigate. The lieutenant would probably agree that, in this situation, it's best to be thorough.
I didn't really want to do that. Click on it anyway, but I'm glad I did. Alright. Do we want to go to the communist meeting? We might as well, right? It's 2200. We don't have a camp. We just get so sidetracked in this game, don't we? I don't remember how to find it. Let's check our journal. $2,200.
Give me a moment. What?
Would she understand if they did?
If it ain't my business, I think we'd all be... I know. It's
I'm just trying to burn time by
She
talking to
hasn't
her.
spoken to anyone for a while. Even her sentences feel rough.
Ask away, Pooh. The hell am I supposed to know? And some lunatic lost his mind.
With how small these rooms are,
People come and go.
they probably just...
Oh, that one is a scientist. I think he studies astrology. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to... The symbol of what and how?
You know, communism, you know, like in the World Revolution, you know, the one who supports the working class against capital. It's an ideology. It has some noble aims, but it's for losers. No idea how the economy works. It's a symbol of contributing to the demise of our noble state. It's a political ideology.
Huh. I thought Revachol was the capital. The RTs? She leaves an old lady to her business. More than...
She mumbles, some kind.
Have we been over here since the boat left? Maybe there was something left behind. And there wasn't. Alright, well, it's about that time, guys. You already get this, or is it
Just
locked?
an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Trying to sneak up on me again?
Trying to sneak up on me again, pig. wonder why we can't get in that door yet. Alright, well, I guess we'll do the communist next time. I'm having some Lucky Charms and go to bed. Anything in here?
This door is made of metal, and no one answers.
I forgot who was in that house. Alright, y'all. Well, drop a like if you haven't already, guys. Drop a sub if you're new. I'm out.